Hi, hello. It's your boy here that hasn't made a talking video in a long time. I just want to talk about my guitars, or specifically two of them. I have two guitars that are Darren Gray signatures, or were popularized by Darren Gray in the past, and I can't find any videos on them in my research when I was trying to look them up. There's a couple on YouTube, but they're like old and grainy, or they don't talk about it in detail. So I just want to do this real quick, just as kind of like a little summary of my experience of having them for a while and what I like about them, what I don't like about them. Okay, alright, let's go. Okay, so the first guitar that I'll talk about is the first one that I got. This right here is the Edwards ESP EKGA guitar that is based off of the Genesis signature that Cal Reed played way early in Darren Gray's career, probably around like the time of their major label debut, going into, I want to say, Vulgar Withering to Death era. This is a fun little guitar. There's not a ton of issues I have with it. It definitely is different than my first real guitar that I've had, which was my Ibanez ART 300. Main thing, it's a little bit thinner, it's a little bit smaller, the neck is a little bit smaller. It's not uncomfortably so, but it is a bit of a adjustment. I'm not much of a shredder, so anything past the 12th fret I don't really do too much, but it's fun to jam on, that's for sure. Picking this up for the first time and playing Darren Gray songs on a Darren Gray guitar, it felt good. It felt really, it was really cool. This is the first guitar that I own that has a Floyd Rose. If you know anything about Floyd Rose guitars, you know that restringing them is a task. But if you do it right and you give yourself a little bit of time, it's not that bad. I haven't had to change any components on it, although I do know this guitar is a little bit old. Well, partially no, because here's the thing. All my guitars have serial numbers. This one does not. At least everywhere I've looked, anywhere that would conventionally have a serial number, like the back of the headstock, maybe somewhere on the back of the guitar, maybe under some hardware tucked away, I couldn't find anything. Now again, I don't know if it's just like something from the ESP Edwards factory that like that's how they made them back in the day, but I'm going solely based off of the type of guitars that I know that Cal Reed played at the time. So I'm assuming this is 15 to 20 years old. If anybody has any other information on that, please let me know, because I would like to know exactly how old this thing is, but I'm guessing 15 to 20. The only real cosmetic issue, the actual one, is this little chip. I don't know if you can see that right there. But again, it doesn't really faze me. I knew what I was getting into, and I knew that this guitar was probably going to be slightly beat up, and honestly, for the price, this is great. Another downside that I will mention is if you're a big guy like me, the shape can be not the best. See this part right here? See that right there? When I'm sitting down playing for a long time, that tends to dig into my thigh, and that can get uncomfortable. But again, that's kind of like, again, I knew what I was getting into, because again, this guitar, I've been in love with this thing ever since I first laid eyes on it in middle school, and I'll just say now that was a long time ago. So yeah, this is the Edwards ESP EKGA. Fun little thing. On to the next one. is a killer. Literally, it's a killer. I know Killer is apparently a offshoot of the ESP brand, but this is the Killer KB Simony Toshiba bass. Now this one, a lot of people when they think of Toshiba's basses, they probably will think of like the RU drive. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube play those and own those, and that's all well and good. I do really like the way that looks. All of Toshiba's basses look pretty cool, but I want it to be a little bit different, and I want to align myself with something that just fits me stylistically, and also it's based off the era of Darren Gray that I like the most. See, Toshiba played this model around the Macabre to Kiso era, a little bit into Vulgar era, and that's my favorite time of Darren Gray, stylistically, visually, everything. If you look at the Filth music video, if you look at the Embryo music video, and even if you look at the Obscure music video where he plays a 5-string version of this, it's this killer model. It's one of the first passive bass, which is nice because I don't have to shove a 9-volt into it for it to sound good. It has a jazz bassy tone. These are like jazz bass style pickups. Yeah, this pick guard, a little insane. It literally mirrors everything. You can see everything right here. My dirty desk. It's over the top, and I like it, but from it's a little crazy. There's two sections here. You got your volume, and you got your tone. See that right there? These are not the knobs that came with it. The knobs that came with it were also aftermarket, and they were all identical. So it was hard to tell which was tone, which was volume. So I went up to Guitar Center, just bought some speed knobs and just slapped them on there. And all is well with the world. This feels like a jazz bass. Again, I've played Ibanez basses most of my life. This one definitely does not feel like that. Ibanez's tend to have, I guess you could say, like speedy necks. This one does not. It's a little bit beefier, but it's still comfortable. It still feels good to play. This is reminiscent of like a Rickenbacker 4003 in the styling, but as you can see, it's flipped because typically the long side is up here towards the top, and this is where the short side would be, so that throws people off. But again, this kind of weird kooky styling is what I liked about it. And again, it's fun to play. It sounds great. And I honestly played this more than I played the Ganesa. There is a serial number on it. If you can see back here, this one was produced in 2008, and it was pretty cool. It actually came with the purchase receipt, and after some translating that I had from some friends, it did say 2008. I think that's about all I got for these guitars. Again, if you have any questions about them or want to know more, I'll try my best to help you guys out in the comments. Again, I'm not a specialist when it comes to all this stuff as far as like terminology stuff. If I got anything wrong as far as like the names of things, I apologize. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully that helps. Maybe I'll post a video of me playing both, and then we'll just go into it like that. Have a happy holiday, Christmas.